talking about the three engines that are driving the markets right now. So, I take a look around, I look behind me, we got a lot of mixed signals on the screen right now, but there's some stuff that I believe is going to continue to drive this market to higher highs. We're in the dog days of summer right now. All right. Last couple of weeks of August, what's going on? We got some retail coming out. I think Home Depot, Lowe's, the home improvement centers are going to be reporting this week. We got some other retail juggernauts that are reporting as well. And I'm going to talk about earnings a little bit in just a moment. But really, the big three engines that are driving the markets higher right now: AI, and more importantly, AI infrastructure. So spending, or that spending on the AI infrastructure, still the primary driver of the markets. So if you take a look at what Morgan Stanley's reported, they're seeing that, and they're basically coming out and saying that the rally is being powered by the AI boom. I think that's part of it. I think a lot of that's already baked in. But earnings breadth is also something that's pushing this market higher too. Profits have been stronger than normal. Do you think that one might have something to do with the other? All right. We're seeing on the surface, you look around, you're seeing layoffs that are happening everywhere, and they're being sprinkled in. You're not seeing massive layoffs happening all at one time. I think what's happening is that companies out there are pulling off people out of the workplace at a small and sustainable move. That means you're going to see more and more of this happening as we rotate out of a lot of human activities and rotate into AI activities, right? This is nothing different than what we saw decades ago when we ushered in the computer era and when we ushered in the internet. And as we usher in new technology, we see this rotation. This rotation is continuing to happen. But here's the part that you might not know. A lot of the gains right now are not so much tech-driven, but they're concentrated in energy and also communication services. Now think about energy and think about communication. Energy services, believe it or not, are also AI-driven. Communication services are massive AI-driven. So even though you might not see it on the front side of these earnings, beneath the surface, that's what's happening. Okay. We're also seeing sector rotation that's happening right now. So sector rotation means that although you might see AI and tech not making the huge advancements that it did earlier this year, as some of the AI and tech services are dropping, what's taken their place? Energy has taken place, right? We've seen the energy markets moving higher, although a lot of that has been driven by what's been going on overseas. We're also seeing healthcare. We're also seeing materials. We're also seeing financials. Financials finally getting the shot in the arm it needed to outperform the S&P 500. So these are the three engines that I see driving the markets right now. All right. AI, of course, earnings, and sector rotation. Right. Now let's talk a little bit more about earnings, and let me highlight a couple things that are going on in the earnings markets. I talked about this a little bit last week, but I really want to key in on these big factors. Number one, 86%. What is that? That's the percentage of the S&P 500 companies that have beat their earnings per share estimates compared with the 5-year average of 78%. That's huge. You think about 78% and then you think of 86%. Look at the difference between those two numbers. That's a better than double-digit gain off the 5-year average, okay? Next, 76% beat revenue estimates, okay? Now, to me, revenue is important, but it's not important as earnings per share. Next, 15%. 15% is the number of revenue growth that came in year over year, the highest since 2021, Q4 2021. Think back to 2021 for a moment, okay? What happened? The year before that, we had COVID. We had money getting flushed into the markets in 2021. So you had 2021, which was a really high holiday season, all right? We were coming into Q4. A lot of spending. Money was flushed in. Interest rates, remember, we weren't even thinking about raising rates at the time. So to look at where we are now and to see the revenue growth we've had, that's now the highest since Q1 of 2024, that's huge. All right, that's huge. And the number 4, all 11 sectors I track reported year-over-year earnings growth. Again, is it really sales driven? No. Sales are there. We're beating revenue estimates, but we're beating them slightly. What's happening is companies are getting more and more efficient, and we're seeing that in the underlying numbers that are coming out.